Out of all the PlayStation games, the Ratchet Clank games are the ones that I recall enjoying the most, especially in the PlayStation 2 era. In fact, if I were to have a top 5 video games list, Ratchet Clank 3 is on that list. Just for extra clarification, here's the list of all the Ratchet games that I've played. So when I heard about the new game for the PS5, I was excited because Insomniac gave us the latest Spider-Man game, and I love those. But I really can't help but feel that they just dropped the ball on this one. Before I touched this game, the only review that I saw, and to this day is the only one I watched, was Donkey's video. I don't want to reiterate some of the points he made in that review. In fact, there were some points that I actually disagreed with. One of Donkey's points were about the game's visuals and how he tried to trick the viewers into watching gameplay from the PS4 game. My counterpoint is that I do think there are some visual differences with these two games, mainly the animation. The PS4 game had very stiff movements. Most of the expressive animations were cutscenes taken from the movie that hardly anyone watched, while movements in the PS5 game are more expressive. Another point I disagreed with from Donkey's review was about the load times and how the load times from the original Ratchet & Clank were quick. I gotta majorly disagree with this. I remember playing the first game and seeing the spaceship loop animation until it reached the destination for a long while. This one time the game glitched and the spaceship was looping forever. I remember it had taken me like 3 or 4 minutes to realize that there was something wrong with this game, because I was so used to seeing that animation to go for such a long while. Meanwhile, traveling to another planet in Rift Apart is like less than 20 seconds. The game even gives the option to skip the animation for when you arrive at the planet. And this is what I expected from the company that re-released Spider-Man PS4 with no load times. With that being said, I do have some serious issues with this game. The story was pretty average, or maybe slightly below mediocre. I feel like it doesn't add anything new to the franchise other than the dimension hopping aspect, which even that feels underwhelming. Spoilers by the way, skip to this time if you want to see the next part. So the whole point of the Dimensionator was for Ratchet to meet his own people that ran away to the other dimensions. In fact, there was a cool aspect where you can collect audio recordings of who I think is meant to be Ratchet's dad or someone else, exploring dimensions, and he describes worlds from other PlayStation games, which I thought was funny and awesome. But you know what would be cool? Is if they added more Easter eggs like that. I know that Rhino has these Easter eggs too, but they should 100% one up on that. Like there are rifts where you can go in and get unlockables. What if these rifts were destroyed pieces of worlds from other PlayStation games? Have the platforms have like a woolly texture like Little Big Planet. Show a flying vehicle from Jak and Daxter. Have the golf club from Last of Us 2 appear. Okay, maybe that's a bit too far. How about Joel's guitar instead? My point is that there's so many cool ways that they can utilize the rifts and dimensions, and yet there was a lack of creativity inserted in them. And speaking of lack of creativity, the gameplay also lacks imagination. In fact, the weapons are pretty much the same as any other Ratchet & Clank game. Hell, they literally reuse some anyway. Also, the amount of AI weapons like Mr. Fungi, the regular turrets, the Agents of Doom, the sprinklers. Who needs the Rhino when you can just use all of them at once? Also, Ratchet and Rivet literally handle the same. Like there's a level where you play as Ratchet and you need to receive hover boots. Then when you go to the next planet as Rivet, apparently she had them the whole time. I feel like if they reworked the story a bit, they could have made this a co-op game instead, because I can't see why they can't, other than the dimension hopping aspect, which in all honesty, there wasn't really much of. And to put the nail in the coffin for this review, this game took me 14 hours to 100%. I think it could have been 11 or 12 if I got the collectibles on my original save file instead of in New Game Plus. And let's compare that with Spider-Man Miles Morales, another Insomniac game which a lot of us tend to think of as an expansion of the first game. Took me 16 hours to 100%. So overall, as sad it is to say this, I would have to give this game a 2.5 stars out of 5. It's a fun game, but it has a lot of missed opportunities. and I hope Insomniac doesn't carry the same level of effort for their next game. That is it for today. Feel free to comment your opinions, slap the like if you agree or understand my feelings for this game, and also subscribe because I'm planning on making a video theorizing what could happen in the new Spider-Man 2 game. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourself, and see you next time.